So I hope y'all got a good laugh out of that, because I got wet.
So
hey guys, Chris with Tillman Family Farm. It's another hot summer day, and today I want to talk about a battle that we've been fighting here on this farm for quite some time, and we have a temporary fix for this. Let me show you what we got going on. So this is the infamous water trailer. We filled this up with water, and in some cases we bucket it into 55-gallon barrels. We've had a sump pump that we have used the generator for, and it's just not cutting the mustard. So we have plans. We've been shopping. Let me show you what we got going on. So that's what we had on the trailer. This is what we're replacing it with on the trailer. Both of these are food grade, had some type of corn syrup, something in them for soft drinks from a local place. But we're fixing to put one on this trailer, and we're going to put our fancy generator off in the barn over here, and we're going to show you the pump and all that we have to replace it. All right, so we have everything on the trailer. I'm gonna explain to you what we bought and what the intention is. So we went shopping at Harbor Freight. We were looking for a gas powered pump, and I was researching, and I was thinking big, man. I wanted to get this one with a 2-inch inlet and a 2-inch outlet. And then we got there and we were looking at them, and like literally to transfer all of the water from this one to another size, it would have been like 2.5 minutes, which we thought was awesome. And then we were like, oh, wait a minute, that may be a little too fast. So we went one pump size down. We went from a 2-inch to a 1-inch. How many gallons per hour does it say this thing does?
per hour? Oh, I think
Whatever
it was.
Or gallons per minute, whatever.
So it does 35 gallons per minute.
Yeah, 35 gallons per minute. So you're talking about being able to transfer all of this water into another one, you know, in 10, 15 minutes. That gives us time to kind of wander around and do the other little things that we do when we go out there. We were using a generator and a sump pump, and it was taking like 30 to 40 minutes to transfer all this. It was ridiculous. And we weren't even transferring this much water. We were using that cutoff tank that we just showed you guys. So, so number one, these are the things that we bought. A couple weeks ago, we bought 2 of these IBC totes. I think we paid $35 a piece for them. They are food grade.
Yeah, food grade.
Yeah, food grade. So, and then today we bought a pump, and then we bought a discharge hose, a 25-foot discharge hose. Now this discharge hose will collapse, so when the water runs in it, it blows up. We also bought a 1-inch intake hose. So this one is more rigid, so when the pump's drawing, it won't collapse this. So those are the things that we bought. I'm about to get into the pump itself. So it's gas powered, so I need to make sure that it's got some oil that came with it. We're gonna get some fuel in it. We're gonna read the instructions for a change and make sure. Also, another thing on this I did, since we bought it from Harbor Freight, I went ahead and I spent a little bit more money, and I bought a 2-year replacement warranty on this pump. So we spent money, and we're good for 2 years on this, you know, with the warranty. So if something were to happen to it, we get another one, and so forth, so on. So if it does turn out that we have a lot of problems with it, we'll probably buy a better brand next time. But we're about to try this one out and see how it does. All right, so we rinsed our tank. So what this pump is, this is a Predator 79cc gasoline powered 1-inch intake and discharge water pump. So taking it out of the box. All right, so we have oil and we have fuel. Everything's in here. This is not one of those motors that you just want to start trying to fire it up to see if it's going to run and all that stuff, because it's got a pump attached to it. So you're going to want to prime this pump. So this little cap right here on the top of it, and all of these little stickers all over this thing, it's labeled really, really well. So we're going to hook up all of our hoses first while we're filling the tank, and then before we fire this pump up, we're going to take this cap off right here, and we're gonna fill this with water, and that's gonna prime this pump itself so that it'll already be full and it won't be operating dry down in there and tearing up the impeller and everything else that's inside the pump itself. So I'm gonna take a second and I'm gonna get all my hoses stretched out and get them put in the places that I want them, and we'll probably fire this bad boy up and try it out. All right, so this, like I said, this flexible flat hose, this is the outlet hose. It's got a grommet in it, just like what you do in your regular water hose, so you don't have to put any thread tape or anything like that on here. So put it on, and this headpiece spins so it doesn't mess up your flat hose. But it's got these big things on here so that you can really bow up on this thing and get a good seal at that. And that's all that's going to take to get that one put on. All right, so we have the entrance portion of our intake hose, okay? So it's got all these hose clamps on here clamping this piece down. This is not necessary for being inside of an IBC tank, but if I don't put it on this hose, I'll lose it. So it's just going to become part of what we got going on here. Actually, that fitting's really loose. I'm going to get something and tighten these up real quick. But so this part will go down in the hole on your IBC tank. This is plenty small enough to get down in there. And then the other end of it will attach to this portion. This is the inlet portion of the pump itself. So let me get all this stuff. I'm gonna go get something, tighten this up, and then I'm gonna get this hose connected, and I'm probably gonna route it around the tank and then up over this side and in. So kind of take care of some of this excess. There's 20 feet of excess here. All right, so we got everything hooked up. This is your outlet, your inlet. This hose is wrapped around the tank, around the other side, and it's dumped over in the top of it. So, and it's sitting on the bottom, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna take just a minute and I'm gonna unscrew this right here, and I'm gonna put some water in it. Probably gonna stretch my hose out too so that it doesn't come trying to take me over or beat me up, flopping around as it fills up with water. So I think the idea here is to put enough water in it to fill it up. It's probably going to run into the hose on both ends a little bit, just to have some in it. Like I said, so you don't tear up the impeller in the pump itself. It's going to take a lot more water than I thought, which is fine. I'll do it right. Hopefully though, after you fill this, in between uses, you won't have to fill it like this every time. So that's full. I'm gonna put the cap back on it now. Let me get my hose stretched out and we'll try to fire it up. All right, so I got my hose stretched out. I'm gonna get my beautiful assistant over here to hold said hose right here. Beautiful assistant, please. So my switch is on. I'm gonna choke it that way. Well, actually choke is up here, that's gonna be the fuel. So choke. First stinking pull, how about that? Try it again. Right? We just pumped all that water in there and trying to waste it. That thing's awesome. Guys, this thing is about to be a game changer for us. We spend a lot of time going out there and putting water out and things like that. It's all necessary time. We've been looking for a way to speed that up, and this is most definitely going to help. So as soon as this tank finishes filling, we're going to ride this bad boy out there, and I'm going to show y'all what it takes to fill up that tank. I think the filling this tank from a water hose here at the house is going to be the part that takes us a while now. Eventually I'll come over here and I'll put some boards and things like that and secure this pump down, and I may even kind of fashion some kind of little roof over it to keep it out of the weather. But so far so good. Also at the end of this, I'm going to go back and get my receipt out and kind of go over the cost of all of this. Of course, we've had this trailer for a long time, and matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that this is a trailer that Jamie's dad gave to us, so we don't have any money in the trailer. But between the tank and the pump and the hoses, that's where the money's at. So I'll go over all that cost with you guys so you can see how much it costs to set something like this up. All right, out here with the pigs. So I'm gonna take you guys through this setup real quick, and then we're gonna stretch hose out and see what we got going on. Yeah, piggy, piggy, pig. So this is our shade trailer that we have another IBC tank on, okay? So behind that, excuse me there, ma'am. Behind that, we have bought some fittings off of Amazon. We have them hooked up to the tank. We have some valves, and then we have a barrel with a float valve. So the idea now is to be able to fill that tank with that tank. So that's why we bought the pump. So what that's also going to do, I'm trying not to get y'all drunk spinning around so fast, is it's going to eliminate those 2 extra barrels for us. So we're only going to be filling the tank that is on that trailer. So we're about to get this hose stretched out and see what we got going on.
Okay, guys, he has me starting this thing.
It's going to be easy.
So we'll see how easy it is.
I'm also going to count, see how long it takes to fill this up.
Hang on, I got to get on the other side.
On the other side might help.
Pull 1. Okay.
Is the switch to on?
Yeah.
Okay, so reach up there on the front of it and do the choke then.
Should I put it to choke?
Yeah.
You may not be able to hear me, but this is hilarious. This is definitely not a single person task.
So I hope y'all got a good laugh out of that, because I got wet.
So let me just explain something. We were going to buy the bigger one, 2-inch hose, and I just made it a point to where that would have been comical, because as much as he fought with the 1-inch,
this 1-inch hose, man, when it tightened up, that thing's powerful. I wasn't expecting it to be that powerful.
he would have been out here riding a 2-inch hose.
Not funny. All right, back to business. So I'm really impressed with this little pump. Jamie put a timer on before we started doing this. Took, you said a little over 10 minutes?
It's roughly 10 minutes.
Roughly 10 minutes to fire it up, get it in there. Not going to be a one-person job unless I set up some type of plumbing at the top of the tank to screw this hose into so that it kind of holds on to itself. But filled it up really quickly. We'll never be able to transfer this whole entire tank into that one because of all the excess that's in the hose and the way the pickup is down in the tank and all that stuff. We'll probably come pretty close in the future. We will, at the bottom of the IBC tanks, they got that valve, so I'll probably rig some plumbing that way to be able to hook that inlet hose into that, so that we can draw from the very bottom of it and we won't have to worry about picking it up off the bottom of the tank. So it'll be running into that hose. So anyway, I'm really impressed with it. I think it's going to be a big time game changer for us. We would still be out here with a bucket bailing water into the 55-gallon drums, and then we would have a water hose with a little bitty sump pump on it that would be trickling water into that. So we got them filled up. We're going to take this setup and go to the house with it and then I'm gonna go inside and sit down and look at the money part of it, and let you guys know how much this setup cost. All right, guys, so we're really pleased with how this turned out. There's still, I've got some work to do to it. I want to secure the tank on the trailer so that the tank doesn't have any way to slide around. It's a lot of weight on this little small trailer. Gonna do the same thing with the pump itself. Probably put some type of little roof over the top of it. But I want to tell you right now how much money we have in this thing. So I told you earlier, got about $35 in IBC tote. You can find those all over the place. It's recommended that you find one that was food grade, had some kind of food chemical in it, maybe from a you know, like a plant that does soft drinks or anything like that. I'm pretty sure that's where this one came from. But so let's start off with the pump itself. Okay, so at Harbor Freight, we are a member of their rewards purchasing program, or whatever it's called. So that pump is normally $229, but with our rewards thing, we paid $199.99. The second aspect of that was that red discharge hose, the one that the water sprays out. That hose was $27.99. The intake hose, that rigid hard hose that went down into the tank, that was $34.99. And in reality, that's all I bought yesterday for this. So between the tank and the hoses and the pump, I got about 300 bucks in this. You know, the trailer is something that I had sitting around. You can get as fancy with this as you want. You can put valves and PVC on there and come out of the bottom of the IBC tank or whatever you want to do with it. But this is the quickest fix. It solved a problem for us that was painstaking. We do have plans to run a lot of water lines on this property. This big pasture that you see behind us, we're thinking to put a meter in out at the road and run a line all the way through and put a bunch of valves and stuff out through there. But for right now, we were trying to figure out how to best utilize that big pasture out there for something besides the cows, and running pigs out there and running the chickens behind them was the best way for us to do that. This solved a problem for us getting water out there. So best case scenario for us right now is to use this the way that it is, and it saves us a lot of time from the way that we had been doing it. So I posted a picture of this in a Facebook group last night, and I got tons and tons of questions on it, which is awesome. I love that. People want to know how we did it and all that stuff. That's the whole reason we do these videos. So if you have any questions about this, you know, concerns, if you think something's wrong with it or whatever, let me know down in the comments, and I will answer. I try to answer just about any comment that's ever put on a video. You know, just out of courtesy. It's getting more and more and more these days, but we're trying to make sure that we get them. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't done so, please go down and like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.